Hey y'all, Spiritual Intervention with JT. Thanks for tuning in today. And today we're starting our series called The Three Little Pigs. Yeah, you may have heard the nursery rhyme of it, but we're going to use the concept of that nursery rhyme and see how we can apply it to our spiritual being. The first of the three teachings will be called the straw house. Remember the straw house, the stick house, and then the brick and mortar house. So each one of them plays a significant role in our spiritual walk. At least that's what I'm going to try to compile together to show you how this nursery rhyme can be key to your level of understanding where you are spiritually. With that being said, let's go to the first one. The first one is the straw house. And remember, the straw between the stick and the brick and mortar house is the most fragile, or the one that is most easiest to break apart. But the straw house represents so much to us if we look at the beginning stage of our our spiritual walk, where we're trying to connect and establish that relationship with God, our greater I am. When we start looking at trying to gather things together to build a structure, to build a place of protection, or place of trust. When you look at the straw, which are hollow, it's really nothing in between it. But if you put enough together, you can fortify yourself. You can put yourself in a place where you can keep shelter, you can keep some form of security, and then, like I said, a place of trust. But the one thing about it, it still has areas where you would need to have additional support to help it to secure a more lasting covenant than what you currently have. And when you look at your spiritual walk, you can look at that as when you first began to follow Christ, when you decided that you wanted to learn of him in the ways that he operates. You had to come to a place where you realized it was time to separate from the things that were not of God to accept the things that are. Meaning that you had to come to a place of learning, a place of understanding, a place of growth, where you would take any knowledge that you obtained and start and apply it, and just like the straw, begin to fortify your position. Easier said than done, because no one teaches you from the giddy up, how do you get to God? How do you pray to God? How do you walk with God? How do you read the word to get that understanding? Yes, all of us have been to church and someone has shared some type of approach. But when it comes to you personally, how do you know that you are connected? How did you know that there is established relationship, or working towards a relationship where you can begin to trust in the things of God? How do you read the word of God? How do you get the knowledge that you need? How do I pray to him? All those things are the beginning stage of trying to establish this connection. And I will say, many of us as leadership have done a bad job when it comes to developing individuals to learn of the transition from out of the world of sin into the things of God. It's not an overnight process. Like any learning that you have, you just don't learn everything in one day, but you take what you learn and you build upon it. And this goes back to the concept of the straw house. We're trying to build a foundation, a strong foundation to stand upon, and to achieve these things that we're seeking, those things that we want to see happen. So we have to take what we have and begin to structure it. So how do we do that? How do we build a foundation of straws? Now, one way we can do that is by getting or requesting or trying to achieve as much resources as is possible to help us understand what is this newfound relationship or connection that we're trying to establish. We need to start asking people that are in this where we're trying to go in this relationship or connection with God, people that have shown that they have established a sound relationship with God, to help you in your process. Teach me how to pray in a way that I can get clarity and understanding, that I can build that trust. Teach me how to read and understand the word that has been set out before me. Everybody can't read the King James Version. That's why they have different versions out there to help you along the way. Some of them are a little more simple. They break the word down a little more easier for understanding. But as you grow, you will find the one that is good for you or best for you. But in the process, at least you're trying to learn of it. Um, Surround yourself around people who are learning like you, that together y'all can come together. Get someone that's a little more advanced to mentor you so that you can understand. Rely on those leadership, that the pastors and ministers, evangelists, whomever, that you decided when you decided to give your life to Christ, they were there to help you along the way. Go to your local pastor or leader and say, hey, you know what? I want to know more. Go to those Bible teachings or Bible studies or kingdom developments, whatever they have, where you can be around other people that are discussing the things of God. There's nothing wrong with TV evangelizing and things of that nature. Wherever you can feel fit that you can get a word that's teaching you how to live a life that is acceptable to God. Not just saying, I just want to be a part of it. Get involved. And that starts the beginning level of the straw-like approach. Remember, in a nursery rhyme, the three little pigs went to each one of those houses, and the wolf would blow, huff and puff, and blow the house down. Well, we haven't got to the fact that he can blow it down, but he is trying to maneuver himself at the straw house, how he can bring some ill-advised or some bad choices or bad things to you that will cause you to have to leave your protective area. And the only reason that he's able to do that because you're at the growing stage and there are things that you have yet to learn. So blowing or moving you around is not a bad thing. It could be blowing you into your next level. And that's the way that we're looking at it. We're going to take the positive out of this huff and puffing that this wolf did. And we're going to let it utilize us to push us to more of a purpose and a purpose-driven relationship with God. But we have to learn how to get to a place where we desire the things of God and not the things of flesh or things of this world. But it comes in a process. So I want to encourage you on the first class of many of this three pig syndrome that we need to understand that the first level is just trying to make sure that we're comfortable in this newfound connection that we're trying to establish. We're trying to strengthen that so we'll understand who we are and whose we are. Hey, this is Spiritual Connection with your boy JT. Listen up for part 2 of part 1 of the series of the three little pigs. Remember, this is the straw house. All right, take care.